Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Tracks channel. Today I am here with Laura. Hey, hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, Faith. I'm great. Thank you. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's been a busy week, but a good week, so that's always good. Summer's in full swing here for all the kids and the things and the get-togethers and play dates. My kids have an entire social calendar that they inform me of every morning, so that's fun.
Better social life than probably you or I put together.
Exactly. Well, and it's so great because I think the topic of today, it's not necessarily how can women do it all? Can we have it all? But it's navigating, a career
Hmm.
while juggling all of these other things that women have to do. So I'm excited to talk to you today about this. So today we're talking about the top 5 leadership lessons for women in supply chain. We chatted before we went live that this is such a bigger topic that probably doesn't fit into one episode because I think it's a lot of things. So the first question is, when you look back on your career, what decisions, risks, or opportunities had the biggest impact on your progression into leadership?
Honestly, there wasn't one defining moment where someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "You're a leader now." It was a series of decisions to say yes to opportunities that felt probably slightly uncomfortable at the time. I've taken roles where I didn't meet 100% of the criteria. I've led programs that were bigger than anything I'd managed before. And I've stepped into situations where there wasn't a clear roadmap. One thing I've learned is that growth rarely comes from feeling ready. I think most of the opportunities that accelerated my career were the ones where I thought, can I actually do this? And then just figured it out along the way. And I also stopped waiting for someone else to validate me. I think early in my career, I definitely underestimated my own capabilities. And I think a lot of women do. We can spend years proving that we're capable before we're willing to say that we're capable. And the biggest shift for me was recognizing that leadership isn't about having all the answers, it's about being willing to make decisions, take accountability, and keep learning.
Absolutely. So what's one challenge you think women still underestimate when trying to move into leadership positions in this industry?
I think many women underestimate how important visibility is. We often believe that if we work hard and deliver results, that the opportunities will naturally follow. Sometimes they do, but often they don't. And I've seen incredibly capable women quietly delivering brilliant work while somebody else is actively talking about their achievements, building relationships, creating visibility around what they're doing. There's also a big tendency for women to downplay their accomplishments. Emma, my friend, she owns a really successful salon. She manages staff. She runs a business. She manages customer expectations, deals with appointments. She deals with finances, marketing, operations. But if you ask Emma what she does, she'll say she's a hairdresser, right? And I think a lot of women do that. We minimize our expertise without even realizing it. And leadership isn't just about competence, it's about ensuring that people understand the value that you bring.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that example too. I feel like I have many friends like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In your experience, what skills or traits truly set apart leaders
Mm.
in supply chain, not just on paper, but in practice?
Without question, my answer is communication. The technical side matters, but as you move into leadership, your success becomes less about what you personally know and more about your ability to bring people together around a common goal. The best leaders I've worked with can simplify complexity. They can communicate clearly and influence stakeholders, navigate competing priorities, and make decisions where information is incomplete. I also think that resilience is underrated. Supply chain is unpredictable by nature. The leaders who thrive aren't the ones who never face problems. They're the ones who remain calm and adaptable when those problems inevitably appear.
Absolutely. Many women don't have formal mentors or sponsors. How do women build credibility, visibility, and influence when they don't have those support structures in place?
Yeah, I think you're right, Faith. And this question resonates with me because I've never had a formal mentor or sponsor, I guess. No senior executive took me under their wing and opened doors for me behind the scenes. Most of my career progression came from consistently delivering results and building strong relationships. The first thing that I would say is don't wait for a mentor before you start developing yourself. Learn from everyone. I've learned from peers, customers, managers, books, podcasts, and from people I've never actually met. I think that's really important to kind of widen your network out there. Secondly, make your work visible, not in an arrogant way, but in a factual way. If you've delivered something significant, don't be afraid to talk about the outcome and the impact of that. And then finally, build a network before you need one. Some of the most valuable opportunities in my career have come through relationships and reputation rather than formal sponsorship. If a sponsor comes along, then fantastic. But I don't think that we need to build our entire career plan around waiting for one.
And don't you think that kind of goes back to what you mentioned before about how underestimating or belittling your accomplishments, let's say?
Absolutely. I think imposter syndrome is one of the most common experiences that women share, but it's also one of the least talked about. Honestly, it's one of these things that is kind of taboo, I suppose. I've sat in rooms with incredibly accomplished women who still question whether they're good enough, experienced enough, or qualified enough. But meanwhile, they can be at the same time outperforming everyone around them. And I've learned to stop asking myself whether I feel ready and start asking whether I can learn, because I think those are very different questions.
Absolutely. So our last question, which I think is such an important one, is if you had to give 5 clear, actionable pieces of advice for women trying to grow into leadership roles right now, what would you make your list?
My list. Number one, I'd say stop waiting until you feel ready. Most leaders don't feel ready when they take on bigger roles, and confidence often follows action, not the other way around. Number two would be own your achievements. Don't describe yourself as just anything. Don't minimize what you've built, what you've delivered, or what you've achieved. Number three is build relationships intentionally. Leadership is built on trust. Invest time in understanding people and not just the processes. Number four would be get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth usually sits on the other side of an uncertainty. And if something scares you slightly, it's probably a good sign. And number five, challenge your inner critic. A lot of talented women spend years talking themselves out of opportunities that they're perfectly capable of succeeding in. And don't let your self-doubt make decisions for you.
I love that. And what's great too is in today's day and age, we have platforms like LinkedIn where you can do networking, you can talk about your achievements, and it can be a very supportive environment to network in.
Yeah.
And it can be a little less threatening because it is on the internet, not face to face, even though I do feel like the old school handshake is probably the best sense of networking that you can do. But I do think it has given us a chance for women who do feel kind of uncertain to put their voice out there.
Yeah, for sure. Last year, I was really fortunate, Faith. I won an award from Every Woman. It was for a customer leader in transport and logistics. And I was really fortunate to be invited, obviously, to the ceremony for presenting the awards with a lot of the finalist nominees. And I got to meet so many incredible women in that room. And the imposter syndrome was like radiating from me. I was thinking, why am I here? Look what you've achieved. And why? But they were all feeling the same. And, it was really great for an organization like that to get women together, for us all to kind of broaden our networks, but also to share our own experiences, chat over our fears, and really validating to find out that we were all singing from the same hymn sheet. You know, we were all talented, we were all kind of achieving a goal, but all feeling those same things in the background, which was wonderful. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yep, I love that. Well, I look forward to speaking to you again. And I know over the summer we're going to do a few more LinkedIn lives together. And, we can still talk about this topic, which I think is such a meaningful one for both of us because we're both women in different industries, but women nonetheless. And sometimes we feel like we have to speak louder when we don't need to. We can just speak.
That's it. That's exactly. Yeah, for sure. No, it's been a great topic today, Faith. I really appreciate you giving me the chance to chat to you about it. And the more people out there reach out and have a chat and help them progress in the industry, then I'm always more than happy to do that. And as you said, LinkedIn is an excellent forum to do that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Laura. Well, we will speak again soon.
Wonderful. Thank you, Faith. Bye.
Bye.